Here's some of my late grandfather's nice carvings. Today's episode, we are going to go through the struggles of the evolution. 2025 has been a miserable, hard year. But some of this episode, we're going to be flashing back clean to the 1st of 2024. I tried to figure out how in the world was I going to give the viewer the best bang for their time. And what better than to see some of the struggles that I went through. I went from a person who never put a stone in their pack to all of a sudden having an absolute passion for collecting minerals. I've even got into jade. I mean, I'm making some pendants. Oh, lordy, lordy. It seduces you. So anyway, hang in there. We're going to be popping back and forth, a little radical. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for giving a thumbs up. Thank you for any comments. I know if you watch, the viewing hours are great. Well, it's been a little while since I've checked in, but I may have found something that's relatively special. I've seen it just barely poking out, but every time I see it's got this hard black material packed around it, but this is a very large, so you can see that black shit. That's how I found Jaws. So, but it does not come easy. But if you see on that rock, I have finally, it's a great big chunk of agate with crystal spears in it. And it's a neat son of a gun. I mean, I don't look pretty right now, but on the other side, it's got all this agate material like on these. You can see, you know, we got seam agate. We've got all sorts of agates here. And this and that. It should really be neat when it's all cleaned up. And it's damn hard to find. This shit, I've walked my guts out, and it's only in one particular area, so. But anyway, so I'm gonna see, it's moving just slightly. I got the pick over in my pack. But I've been finding, you know, and like I said, super selective. And I've been finding a few big ones, but they just don't have any type of fortifications or anything like that. What the hell's that? Oh, what the hell is that? That is a big freaking agate of some kind right there. That was its twin sitting there. Well, okay. Well, you're just going to have to get to digging. I'll show you when I get done. Well, besides Jaws, that is definitely the biggest agate nodule that I have found. Lord, my saw will cut it. The pack wasn't too heavy, but all of a sudden it really gained some weight. That ain't so good. But I'm gonna go get my pack, and then I'm gonna dig in this area, because maybe there's more of this shit, because I walked all morning long, and how about days and days and days, and I haven't found anything, not in this kind of area. Now, I believe the first step that helped me was get some literature of the area in which, I mean, hell, general rock and mineral book. There's lots of them out there. Agates, jasper, and of course the geology. It's a theoretic must. It truly, truly, truly helps. Now, the only rock that I ever took off of the hill was I found this. This, I was doing another activity. I was in the high country and I found that. And I've never been that keen on fossils or anything, but I found this and I went, what in the heck is that? So I put this in my pack. And it was a good 10 years ago when I did find this. Now, I remembered where I found it, so it helped. But if I hadn't found this, then basically I could actually fall back on all the literature. And then, as you've seen, it was foot on the ground. And I started kind of finding some float, things, and I kept moving around here and there, and I'm going, Well, it was all new to me. I didn't know how to pronounce most of the names. I graduated from a fanny pack to my pack frame that I use of today. There's a lot of things that I got myself a little rock hammer. Knew that I just felt like I never ever was going to be able to carry the amount of country I was covering, water enough to spray on things. I felt like that was not going to be in my cards. I needed the water for drinking purposes, and I didn't have any real spare capacity, and it weights you down. Hey, it's 8 pounds per gallon. So anyway, so as I progressed through, I actually could start seeing a little bit of a trend. And in some of these episodes in the evolution, what you see me refer to is, I nicknamed it petrified clay. Now, the petrified clay is a volcanic tuff that has compressed itself to where it actually looks like a kilned clay brick. It's really tightly packed, and it has a natural shine to it. And when I would find some good material, I would notice that this material would be around. And when I was in an area that I didn't even know what matrix was. I had geology in college, but it's like when you get into a heavy pumicey area that is more pumicey, it's like I nicknamed it a dead zone. I don't spend much time in it, but you can go from a zone that is hot as a pistol to a dead zone to back to hot as a pistol in one side hill. So it's like I had to sit there and evolve into it. So step number 1 is try to familiarize yourself where you're going to go. You can go do the X marks the spot, or you can be rewarded greatly by finding things that, hey, hasn't really been common knowledge. So we'll just kind of click on through, but that's step number 1. And let's go into what I consider step number 2, and that is identifying, looking, and oh my gosh, those agate nodules are so difficult to see until you get a trained eye. Things are getting a little bit sneaky. So I got down lower and I've been working up and through, and of course, you know, that eroded outcrop right there, but didn't have a whole lot of soil. And then as I got over there towards those formations, I basically kind of just ran cold of sign of anything. Now, I think on the ridge line over there is some, but I'm coming down through, just now I'm below where we got the GBs with the one, and all of a sudden I'm running into this sign, the old petrified clay. Well, there's 2 in the range here. Like I said, I am conditioning for fair burning. I'm going to film this as we extract this. See how big that is. Oh. Oh, I like it. I like it when you have to kind of dig a little, get the nodulars out of there. Oh, good looking nodule. Look at that big beauty. Narrows deep. Big old narrows deep. Get that in the sunlight. We got a good reveal. So we got that, and while we got that in our hand, we kind of looked over, and I spotted that one sitting there. Well, really nice and solid. Really nice and solid. Gonna have a nice reveal. Narrows deep. The GB got our luck working in the right direction. There ain't no such thing as luck, it's work. But you just let me know if you see anything. Because I think I see something. Like I said, really tough if a little bit of calcidium isn't showing somewhere. You see that right there? Look at that. You see that? And look at the nodule. Been working this hill, but I think I might have just discovered one that is peekabooing out right there. Let's see here. See right there? Let's go ahead and get him out of there. Ha 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 ha. That's what we like. Big, solid, super nodule. Right there. That right there is definitely the day. You can see the calcidiums right there in that window. Oh boy, when you lift these up, it's like a big old lump of lead. But you can see that gold. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. Dang it. But anyway, that's a beautiful find. Beautiful find. All right. Here's what it's looking like. I'm telling you, this is dangerous, loose. The only good thing that's working for us is it's big broken pieces. And this is how interesting this is. Well, I spotted this, but I'm telling you, some of these babies are hidden because I just spotted another one above the one that's got my attention. So anyway, this one is severely damaged. He couldn't take the blow. And as you can see, a lot of these I think are going to be pretty much, good grief, a monster. But look at the carmelian in the center of it. So you got this big water lining with, you got a quartz all the way around it. I can't tell just how good the fortification bands are, but by gosh, I can see some. And you can see the water lining, so it's really giving a little cheat. But what is the carmelian in the center of it? It's like, whoa. So anyway, and it's dense. So I gotta look, but why that one caught my attention, and I'll put my axe to see, just show you just how big those things are. Remember, that's a big rock hammer. Can't even span across the broken edge. Then I looked up. Can you see it? I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go around. And then I'll come back right there. You see the texture? Now this one, oh my Lord, is not broken. So you can see we're going to really have to screen, because that's a thing of beauty right there. So as you can see, always thinking, trying to figure out, okay, why is it here and not over there and so forth. Well, step number 3 is actually put step number 1 and 2 together with some hard work and just put the puzzle together. If you have success in a certain area, well, continue looking for it. Looking for something similar. Fast track it. You may be missing things, but at least you'll condition your eyes into being able to recognize it out in the field. And as you progress, you can actually take it further and further. So that's basically what I have done. Is I started seeing, I used to call them potatoes, the old agate nodules. I had no clue what they were, but then we morphed into where we found monster nodules on Castle Mountain. But it had a particular situation that it had like an avalanche, and it had that what I call petrified clay, that tightly bound volcanic tuff, which can cause the air bubbles. And then you still have to have the proper events like the thermals, something to leach in or leach up into those pockets to produce those nodules. And there's never a guarantee whether they're going to be beautiful or not. But then on some of the other episodes that I have, I start talking about that there is signatures. So this particular area has a tendency to actually produce this. But then a mile away, it could be totally different. Predominantly quartz versus predominantly calcinium. There's all sorts of different diversities out there, and that's what's so intriguing. So let's look and see. And once we actually start putting just 1, 2 to form 3, it's just time out in the field. You've got to. I will make a video, maybe we'll go to the top 10 or this and that, but those 3, you've got to do that. You've got to put some time out there, because it's actually very difficult to actually be very successful with it. And that jade really tested me. And I surely enjoy it. But wow, is that a hard hunt. Now let's see what the rest of this video has to offer. Old G Noel has got his first nodule, so let's see what we got here. Whoa! There he is. Good job, bud. Wiggling like a son of a gun, but hey, this is keeping it real. It's not like Jeff Foxworthy's Ultimate Deer Hunter or some of these other things, so. But anyway, on phone. There we go. But here, I do believe I just found a nodule. This is not as round, but it's definitely a nodule. Oh, it's got some nice bands on that end there, peekabooing. That actually might be pretty damn nice. So, I'll tell you what, walked all day long, and all of a sudden we were finding some nodules. So, buds and stuff, and you can see, here's some calcinium sitting right there. Oh. That's a little bigger than I thought. Okay. You gotta focus in on there, you dirty, rotten phone. Let me see. This new phone is being a little ignorant. my opinion. So we have an empty bag, but here I am just kind of going along, loping along a hillside, heading down towards where I know it's way down below me here, where I know where some of that deposited blue azurite. And then I come across this. In the middle of a hill, in the middle of nowhere, is a beautiful big agatized piece of petrified wood. Now that is just, I can't explain geology. There we go. You can see just how agatized that is. It is definitely a piece of agatized wood. So I know that that piece right here is just as agatized. That is just as agatized as the piece that was in my hand. So my empty bag kind of gained a little bit of weight. But I have plenty to spare, which is a good thing, because I have nothing in my bag. But that's the most beautiful piece of wood I do believe I have ever personally collected. Is that one right there. Let's get that thing dug out. Well, that is well worth pulling off of this mountain. That is absolutely gorgeous. That is that is just beautiful. Because it's agatized enough, but yet it left enough of the signature of the actual wood to know that it is truly petrified wood. What a beautiful piece. Now we're hunting, so you know that the pack went down. If you watch the evolution, right at the epicenter. So we're going along and we're hunting. And I just think we found a sibling. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. That is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, we're not going to have to lose all of our elevation. We're going to look through here. And, of course, we can't take it all. But we sure have the right to look through the best. Awesome.